anything, if I only made $10,000 a year, that's literally like nothing.
I knew it. I knew it this whole time.
I really don't think that you did. I mean, you were the one who said I was making that much every year. But anyways, why do you suddenly want to know how much money I make? Don't tell me this is the first payment for the house since we split up finally has reached you.
It has, and the bank is saying that I owe them $3,000. But I don't have that kind of money. I mean, if they're asking for this much, does that mean that you were paying $3,000 for the house every month?
Yeah, of course I was paying that much for the house every month. That's kind of how owning a house works. Don't tell me that you actually didn't know about how much the mortgage was going to cost when I signed over the house to you.
But I thought that we owned the house, right? I mean, when we first moved into the house, you said that it was our home and said that we didn't want to rent anymore, remember?
Wow, I really don't even know what to say to that. Do you really not know how buying a house works? I mean, first look up what a mortgage is, and that might help you understand a bit better of what's going on. Second of all, we do own the house, but we also bought it with a loan, using it as collateral. So if you don't get that money, you don't get to live there.
But then, you mean it's like paying off part of a loan every single month? Are you serious? I have to do this or we can't live here?
Are these real questions coming from a real adult? I honestly don't even know what to tell you right now.
But I don't want to lose this house, but I can't afford to pay for it. Why didn't you tell me that this was going to happen when we got divorced?
What in the world are you talking about? I sent you the documents to switch our names on the deed. All that legal move entailed was spelled out pretty clear in the paperwork. Did you not read the documents that you signed? Because I can hardly see how you can blame that on me when that's your mistake.
But that's not fair. You can't put this on me. I didn't even know that it was something I'd have to pay.
Okay, well, if you didn't fully understand the situation, then you should have read the paperwork before signing it. I mean, I get that you're frustrated since you didn't know that the house wasn't paid off, but that's still your fault. I mean, you literally signed a contract. You entered into a legal binding agreement. You get that, right?
I see. So you're not financially poor. Even your heart is just that selfish, dirty bottom feeder. Here I am coming to you terrified to lose my house, and you tell me that it's all my fault.
I literally don't even know what else to say about this situation. You took on this responsibility.
Oh, I did, but you knew that I didn't know this was going to happen. I suppose I should have expected this from the likes of you, though.
Okay, you know that. If you want it to be like this, then I'll be the jerk that you think I am. You need to pay me the money that you got for selling my car. Do you understand?
What are you talking about? Why in the world should I have to pay you anything? We're not even married anymore.
You have to pay me the money because you stole my car and then sold it. If you're not getting my car back, then hand over the cash. That car didn't belong to you. You didn't have any legal claim or ownership to it. And yet you sold it. You get how that's bad, right?
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all. I sold the car while we were still married. That means I sold it while it still belonged to the whole family. Don't you know that?
Again, that's not how any of this works at all. I bought the car. It was my name on the lease. It was me and my car. Even if I let you and Irene drive it, which I didn't because neither of you have licenses, that still doesn't give you the right to sell it.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about at all. Why should I just trust a word you have to say to me? And anyways, I've already sold the car and there's nothing that you can do about it. Not only that, but I've already spent all of the money that I got for it as well, so you can kiss all of that goodbye too.
Cindy, you are literally almost 50 years old. You can't be acting like this. But if you are, then you leave me no choice but to sue you.
Wait, what? What do you mean? How can you sue me for this if I already sold the car and spent the money? There's nothing to give back to you.
You really need a wake-up call. Do you know that? I mean, what makes you think that you can steal my things and get away with it? You literally stole something of mine and then sold it for profit. I have the right to sue you for that. It's that simple.
I don't get how you could want to do this to your own ex-wife, the mother of your daughter. What's the point in suing me when you know that I won't have the money to pay you?
Are your debts really so bad that you actually have no money left? And did you think the fact of having debt was going to make me forget about the fact that you stole and sold my car? Look, I've already made up my mind about this, so we can either settle this out of court or else you should lawyer up.
I am trying to tell you that I don't even have the money to pay you back, even if I wanted to. What part of that aren't you understanding?
If you don't have any money, then why don't you go ask your Kevin for a little help? I mean, you are still with Kevin, aren't you? After all, I have to imagine that he was the one driving you around in my car, right?
Wait a second, I don't understand. How did you manage to put that together?
If you really must know, Irene told me the whole truth about you. So you should also know that I'm going to be suing the two of you for your affair as well.
Wait a second, you can't do that. We're already divorced. How can you sue me for something that I was doing while we were still married?
That's actually precisely why I can sue you for this. You were cheating on me while we were married, and I can sue you for that. Again, this is how this whole thing works. I honestly have no idea how you don't know about this. And besides, Irene has already told me the truth, so there's no point in trying to come up with excuses or lies.
That stupid daughter of ours. How could she stab me in the back like this? What's the matter with her?
But anyways, tell me about this Kevin guy. Is he really all that rich? Because I really hope that he is for your sake. I mean, after all, if you don't have any money, that means this guy is going to have to pay for my car and your affair.
You're just jealous, aren't you? You think that you can try and make my new man pay because you weren't a good enough husband to be able to keep me.
All that just to say you don't actually know if your new man is going to be there for you? Huh?
Shut up. This is all your fault, you know. I wouldn't have had to be stuck paying for this house if you didn't trap me into signing those documents. But because I did, that's the reason why I don't have any money left to be able to pay you. So why can't you just leave me alone?
I'm afraid that you and I won't be done until you've paid me what you owe me. I mean, have you no shame? No sense of obligation to pay back what you've stolen from me? Because I don't know if you realize this, but you've put yourself in quite the vulnerable position to be sued by me.
Oh no, this is really, really bad. Things weren't supposed to happen like this. What am I supposed to do? Dad, are you there? Please, Dad, I really need your help. You have to save me.
Irene, what's the matter? Is everything okay?
It's Mom. She hit me, Dad. She said that she hit me because she found out that I told you a little bit about her and Kevin. Not only that, but she threw me out of the house. I was only able to fill up a backpack with my things, and now I'm just out on the street.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea about any of this. Are you okay though? Like, are you hurt physically?
Well, my head hurts a bit, to be honest. But I don't have money to go and see a doctor or anything like that. Dad, could you please tell me where you're living now?
How about I go and pick you up right now instead? Why don't you tell me where you are, Irene?
I don't know where I'm at all, Dad. Please, I just need your new address. Why won't you tell me where you're living now?
Honey, if you really don't know where you are at all, then how is me giving you my address going to help you come to me? Besides, you said that you don't have any money, right? So how would you take a bus or taxi to come see me? Just tell me where you are, and I'll come pick you up right now.
It's not that I have no money. I have like $30 on me. So please, can't you just tell me where it is that you're living right now?
If your head hurts, then I really don't think that you should be trying to come to see me, Irene. Please, you're starting to worry me. Why won't you tell me where you are?
Okay, fine. You can come pick me up if you tell me where it is that you're living now.
But what does that have to do with me going to pick you up? Why do you keep asking?
I'm just a little curious is all. Is it not right for me to want to know where my dad is living now?
Okay, I'll tell you, but just tell me where you are right now so I can go and get you.
Okay, I'll send you my location on my phone right now. Dad, what the heck is your problem? I thought that you were taking me to your house. Why'd you drop me off at the hospital?
Because, Irene, I couldn't see a single scratch or bruise on you, and what's more, you kept asking about my address. Tell me, are you working as part of a plot that your mom and Kevin came up with?
Of course it's not that, Dad. It's nothing like that at all. And I really did hit my head. I am hurt. I might be in real danger if something happened to me, and you just dropped me off here and left me. How could you do that?
I didn't leave you. I dropped you off at the hospital. There are plenty of doctors there to help you. If your head really hurts that much, it would have been much more dangerous to take you home, since I don't know the first thing about first aid.
But I mean, okay, I guess it's fair.
So you really weren't just following anyone's instructions? Why did you want to know my address so badly?
Please, I'm not following anyone's orders or anything like that. I haven't lied to you once. Why won't you believe me?
Oh, Irene, I really just don't know what to say. I knew that your mom was long gone, but it sounds like even this Kevin guy isn't all that great. And it was just so obvious to me that you wouldn't be acting the way you were acting unless someone told you to act that way. But surely you can see why a man willing to go to such lengths to lie, like Kevin, isn't a good guy, right?
I am trying to tell you, but listen to me, Dad. I am not following anyone's orders, and I reached out to you of my own volition. How many times are you going to make me repeat myself?
Why don't you stop repeating yourself and just tell me the truth already, Irene? I mean, did you really not notice that I've been following you ever since I dropped you off at the hospital? You waited around a while, then a car pulled up and you got inside before it drove away. And I saw that in the passenger seat was your mom, and it was being driven by some guy who I'd never seen before. So are you going to be honest with me now? Are you finally going to tell me what it is that you've all been up to?
Okay. You're right, Dad. You figured it out. This was all just a plan to try and get you to tell me where it is that you're living now. Mom said that it was all part of a way to get revenge on you for abandoning her.
You and your mom really need a reality check. Neither of you have any idea of what it means to be poor or abandoned.
But I actually think that Kevin isn't that great of a guy, and I've told Mom that I think she should leave him.
Irene, do you think you could tell me a bit more about who exactly this Kevin guy is?
I don't actually know all that much about him. I think that he told Mom that he's some kind of company president or something like that.
So that's all you know about this guy, and yet you're willing to go along with whatever he says?
Well, it's because Mom loves him so much, and he's always putting on nice suits and driving nice cars. I mean, whenever I see him, I just can't help but compare him to you in your work clothes.
I would think that a guy being so flashy in public would be the suspicious one.
Do you really think so? You think this guy might be up to something?
Well, I can't know for sure unless I get a chance to talk to him in person. But while I was following you guys, I saw him throw a can out of the driver's seat, and that tells me a lot about him.
Please, Dad, you have to help us. I think that Mom really needs to get away from Kevin.
I guess I could try talking to her. Cindy, I want you to tell me about this Kevin guy.
I won't be telling you anything until you give me your address. I'll keep looking until you agree to pay for the house.
I can't pay for the house all at once, but you really need to stop this, Cindy.
Stop what? You're the one standing in the way of Kevin, Irene, and I living our perfect lives. We can't lose the house.
I don't get it. I thought Kevin was a CEO or something. Why not ask him for help?
That's what he says, but I have no idea what it is he actually does for a living, you know.
Wait a second. You don't even know what it is that this guy does for a living? What do you know about him? What makes you trust him so much?
Well, I mean, just look at him. No matter how you think about it, he looks much more successful than you.
Stop trying to turn everything into a fight. Don't you know that Irene is worried about you? She asked me to help you. She thinks that you might be in trouble, and I think she might be right.
Wait, what do you mean? What did Irene tell you this time?
She's just suspicious of Kevin, and frankly, so am I. How did you two even meet in the first place?
Well, if you must know, one of the women in the neighborhood introduced us. She told me he's up-and-coming business owner. And she told me that he has all kinds of side hustles too, and that he makes a ton of money through all of his businesses.
And do you have any idea about what any of these businesses even are?
Well, I know that first he needs to find an office space to house his work, and that he said our old house would make a perfect space.
And is that why you were so insistent on keeping the house and throwing me out of it?
Of course, and he really is a nice guy with so much money.
If he really had so much money, then why are you so pressed to try to make me pay off the mortgage on the house?
Well, what are you trying to get at, huh?
I am just starting to sick of this. Can't you see that this guy is just using you and Irene for his own purposes? Even Irene can see it, so why can't you?
You don't know what you're talking about at all. You don't know anything, Dan.
Why don't you just leave this guy? I think you know that he has nothing but hot air, so just walk away.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I should. Do you think that we could get back together and fix what he had?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is not what I am saying at all. That is going to be a completely different discussion.
What are you talking about? You were the one who just suggested that I break up with him.
Yeah, and I am also still suing you for my car and for the affair, so I really don't know how well getting back together is going to work out. Look, Cindy, you betrayed me. You understand that, right? Why do you think that I would want you back?
But I mean, you made me wake up to see all the wrong that I was doing. You have to take me back, Dan, please. You're all that I have.
If you want to leave Kevin, that's one thing. But I don't know why that should mean we should get back together. I mean, you said some really mean things to me. Don't you remember?
Hey, Dad. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you've done for Mom and I. I know that we betrayed you and we didn't deserve to have you looking out for us.
Irene, please, you don't need to keep thanking me. Did Kevin finally get caught?
Yeah, I went to the police about his fraud. They did some investigating and arrested him. It turns out that he was using a fake name, and this wasn't the first time that he tried to fool people into giving him money.
Well, I'm glad that this ended before it went too far, or at least any further.
I know, but I'm so sorry. I was an idiot. We were never poor, and I see that now. But now that Mom is on her own, I think that I have to stay with her. I just don't want her to get into trouble like this. So thank you for all your help, but hopefully I can take it from here, Dad.
Oh, my sweet girl, I'm sorry that you got caught up in all of this, but you've grown up so much. Please let me know if you need help. We'll work something out. After that, I followed through on what I said and sued Cindy for what I told her I was going to do. She was pushed deeper into debt and lives in a tiny apartment, working multiple jobs to pay down what she owes. As for Irene, she is also working hard, but also has her own apartment and checks in on her mother frequently. I send her money now and then to help with the groceries. I even offer for her to come live with me, but she insisted on being independent. Irene tells me that she saves a bit of her money every month to send to her mom to help with the expenses. Although I'm glad that I don't have to deal with Cindy anymore, I'm glad that I've at least managed to salvage my relationship with my daughter. Obviously, this is not what I pictured my marriage coming to an end, but I am very glad that Cindy wasn't ripped off further by Kevin. As for me, I've just returned to my normal life at the factory. I don't know how Cindy never knew this, but the work clothes that I wore were a uniform for all staff, including upper management like me. But I guess none of that really matters now. I just hope that one day Cindy starts to live in the real world. Hey Mandy, are you there? Are you even alive right now? I only ask because I know what a little weakling you are. But tell me, have you finally some man who is either pathetic or kind enough to get together with you? I doubt it. I mean, who in the world would ever want to marry a mindless little nitwit like you? Nobody will ever want to be with you ever again. Do you understand?